Hi everyone, welcome to Where East Meets West. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. Beautiful collaboration between America Meditating Radio that I host very regularly and Epilogue as we look at how best Indians can really bring some of their best to the world and make the world a better place. You know, with my background of being half Indian and half African Caribbean and being raised in America, I look at the world extremely differently. I don't see sides. I'm in the middle. I build bridges. I believe in inclusion, diversity, and I believe that we all have something to offer our humanity. Where East meets West, we're talking to some of the most eloquent, profound, prolific voices who are making an impact not only in America but around the world. Today it gives me great pleasure to welcome Sharmi Albrechtsen, who we're going to learn more about. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Robotics aficionado, educator, author, and mom. Sharmi is the CEO and co-founder of SmartGurlz, a fast-growing startup company focusing on closing the gender gap in technology. SmartGurlz is the first robotics company focused on girls. Did you know that? So Sharmi is the visionary backbone of the company, ensuring that the company develops, markets, and sells innovative products. She received Adweek's 2017 Disruptor Award in championing gender diversity in advertising and tech. She has also been named Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2018 by the Asian Chamber of Commerce, and she has been featured in Forbes, Huffington Post, Financial Times, Fox Business News, and much more. In 2017, SmartGurlz was featured on ABC's Shark Tank, where Sharmi battled more than 40,000 companies to get placed. Can you believe that? On air, she battled celebrity sharks, including Richard Branson, Mark Cuban, and closed a deal with the incredible Daymond John. Sharmi Albrechtsen, thank you for joining us, and let me start out by saying you inspire me.
Oh, thank you so much, and
No,
thank you
it's
so much for allowing me to spread the messages of Smart Girls to your community.
excited to hear more because when I found out about your work, I says, "Oh my gosh, you're right next door to me." And so, how has life changed for you after Shark Tank?
Shark Tank was an amazing experience. From the very beginning, through my entrepreneurial journey, I was watching Shark Tank and was so inspired by the companies that were there and what they were able to do. And it actually allowed me to see that I also could be an entrepreneur. So even before I entered the tank, I was watching the show and was a big fan. And so when I got the opportunity to actually pitch to the producers, I was over the moon and I was so excited about it. And because I was a fan, I also knew what they liked and what they were looking for. So it changed our company dramatically. I mean, I was a small, toy company just starting out, and Shark Tank allowed us to rebrand the company. We've sold more than 50,000 products. We've educated, about 100,000 children. So it's been a fantastic journey, and I can really thank Shark Tank and basically all of our loyal fans who've been following us through this journey.
For that, that's not a small feat. I mean, that's huge. And when you get on platforms like Shark Tank and you move forward and you stay good to your word and you keep forging ahead, it just goes to show that if somebody just gets behind you a little bit, there's no telling what one cannot achieve and what one cannot do. Tell us about SmartGurlz. How did that
Yes.
get all started?
Well, I started Smart Girls because I was a mother, like many mothers are out there, trying to inspire my daughter in math. If you look at statistics, most girls don't like math and they veer away from math. And my daughter was becoming one of those. She was only 9 years old at the time, but I could see that there was a pattern. And so I wanted to break that pattern. And I thought, well, maybe if I could show her applied math, how you could use math in, everyday things. And so I bought a Lego Mindstorm set because that was the only coding robot that was on the market. And I brought it home, and it was a complete failure. She hated it, everything she hated. She hated the packaging. She hated the box. She hated the robots that we could build. There were pictures of boys, all over the materials. The robots that you could build were masculine with, tank-like things. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, she's getting these messages that, robotics is for boys, STEM is for boys. And, it's coming across, everything that's out there. And so I wanted to create a very feminine robot that was very different and looked very different than anything that was on the market. And so that spurred my idea to create SmartGurlz and to make products that, spoke to women, that spoke to girls, and showed them that you could have a high-tech product that that had, all the bells and whistles that, a boy's technical, boy's product would have, but it would also speak to girls with stories, with characters, with real life context, and that's what SmartGurlz is all about. It's basically, American Girl meets Lego Mindstorms. So.
I love that. You know how I'm pulling, or what I'm pulling from what you're sharing, is how, as a parent, you're not just putting into your child what you want them to be, but you're actually looking for their gifts, their talents, their specialities, and how you were able to tune into that to come up with SmartGurlz. And I think that's really fascinating, to really pull from that scene something that was really challenging, or something that was like, it's not working, and then you were able to find something that you could pull from and say, there must be another way. There must be another way I can inspire my daughter to believe more in herself, or to be better. And I think that speaks volumes about the choice that you've made here. So what was the process of going about and getting these dolls made? Tell me a little bit about how you went about doing that.
Well, it's funny that you ask. I actually created an advisory board of children. And, they're still with us today. I chose girls that were a little bit older, that had just maybe, come out of childhood, so that they could be eloquent about, what things they liked during their childhood, and be able to express themselves a little bit easier. And so this was a, advisory group of, potentially, we had about 10 to 12 little girls. And we would meet every so often, probably once a week on a Saturday, have a tea party, and then we would talk. And we would go through different kinds of characters. We would go through the dolls themselves. We would go through the stories, any kind of, adventures that they thought that kids would be attracted to. And so those young girls really gave me insight into what it means to create engaging products for children, and specifically for girls, and how to really make the bridge between playing and learning, and what kinds of products would be attractive to them. So when you look at a SmartGurlz product, I mean, it looks very different, even though it has all the high-tech elements of, a drone or a robot. It has, it's self-balancing. It has Bluetooth. It has, all the bells and whistles. You can code it from your phone or tablet. But then the girls element of it is that it's very colorful. The packaging tells you something about the character that is riding it. So you have a beautiful doll that you get to choose. And we have, we now have boys and girls too. So we have a line called Smart Buddies that's for schools. And that now we have 8 beautiful characters, 4 boys and 4 girls, and stories for each of them. And they're being used in after school and school programs around the country right now. So really exciting to see, like, the expansion of where we started with really focusing on girls. And, our partners with Black Girls Code and Girl Scouts have really appreciated these products, and now expanding to schools.
It's so incredible. And are the products global? I mean, let's just say, can young girls in India acquire some of these products?
Not yet. We've been good about getting across Europe, but we honestly have not been able to get international partners. So if there's anyone listening, please contact us because we would love to be able to provide our products globally. And but we need those partnerships, and we are still a small company, and it's hard to, to be so small and to be a global player. We've had some partners in Europe, and so we've been able to sell in France and Germany and in England, but nothing in Asia yet. So
Well, let's see. One
yes,
never
yeah, thank
knows.
you.
Everything is moving
Yes.
so fast and efficiently now. You know, a lot of women, this being a very special month for the observance of women and our empowerment in the world, we're under this notion that there's certain things that just we're not supposed to do. We're not supposed to run companies. We're not supposed to fly a jet. We're not supposed to go to war. Um, we're supposed to be quiet. Old Indian norms is that for an Indian woman, when she's married, her husband is God. And I think that's a beautiful thing. If he treats you with respect and love and treats you like a princess, I have absolutely no problem with that tradition. But if he doesn't, then I'm not going to sign up for that, right?
Mm.
And so we're looking at women today who are just biting off so much. You're one of them. You're a CEO, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a friend, you're an you're a daughter-in-law, you're so much. Where do you pull your strength from? Where do you pull your strength on to keep going forward?
I would say that the one thing that really drives me and my strength is really the opportunity to make change. And I think that change is a driver for me. That if I'm able to see that I'm able to make an impact, that really like is a self fulfilling prophecy. It actually feeds me when we're able to be successful and help children, help others, help my parents, help my family. It's a beautiful thing. You find the energy because there's an excitement that comes with being able to create these things, of course. And I love the fact that I can balance all of this as a woman, being able to be a mother and a wife and a daughter, and also be able to be the CEO of my own company. I mean, these are the beautiful times that we live in. I mean, look at Kamala Harris. You mentioned her earlier. I mean, she's an inspiration to us all, and she was able to get a seat in the White House, and it's just fantastic, really. So women like her also help provide energy to me, because I say, okay, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And we can all find this energy to be able to accomplish what we dream of. I know that when I was a baby, my parents had dreams for me, and I want to make sure that they see that I'm able to accomplish those in my lifetime, and be proud of what I was able to do here.
A lot of times Indian women are blamed for raising the bar too high for American women. We make dal and roti with one hand and we have the kid on the other, right? Do you
Yeah.
agree with them? Do you sometimes, because I have some friends, I have so many friends, and there's one
Mm.
particular Indian couple. It's like these mothers are like the best. And the amount of energy they put into everything, they make you look like you're a bum. And then you say to yourself, am I doing too little? Or are they just doing way too much? Do you ever find yourself kind of feeling that, am I doing too much? I mean, where do I find my balance?
Yeah, and I think that's life in general. You're always looking for the balance, and there are times, I also say this to my daughter, that when there are times in life where you just go for it, and that means that that a lot of energy is being used, but then you need to be smart about it and say, okay, I'm going to do this for like 6 months. For example, like I was Morgan Stanley is one of our investors, and part of working with them meant that I had to live apart from my family and live in New York and work out of their offices in Times Square. And I'm not a really big fan of New York. I think it's very hectic, and it's just not my lifestyle at all. But I went there and I did it, and I said, okay, I'm going to, I'm going to take this challenge. I'll be alone, but I'll do it. And I'll come back, and be able to, take some relaxation time with my family, be able to do my yoga and be in nature, which is really important for me. So you have to find what feeds you. And then, make sure that you're always, taking that and balancing yourself and making sure that you're getting what you need to continue the hard work. But I think it's also an attitude issue. Like, I love it. If I didn't have it, I would find projects. I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about our maternity leave, and I said, well, I took advantage of my paid maternity leave to start a catering company. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, I always have to be, rolling and moving. And I just remember, like, my daughter was in a baby Bjorn, and I was, cooking and, and creating a catering company and doing catering events for the, the US Embassy abroad during my maternity leave. So, if you just have it in you, you can't stop. You just got to keep moving.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that because, yes, it is something that is in you. And at the same token, we still have to kind of find our balance as well, because sometimes we give so much that we become dry and we don't know what to do. And we get frustrated or angry with everyone or impatient. And it's not that we mean anything towards them, but it's just my cup is dry. Just give me some time. I need to fill it back up. SmartGurlz is really tackling a big need, which is young women growing up recognizing that they can do anything that they wish. What's your vision for SmartGurlz like in the next 5 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we have some exciting projects that we're working on. I mean, something that you do really well and we would like to do more of is really being able to communicate the message and getting out there. I think that is so important. Awareness is so important that girls actually see these opportunities for themselves, and it's difficult to do. And so right now, excuse me, put that cough button on. Right now, we have an opportunity with a television program that we're working on. So we have some television producers that are interested in creating a show about girls and boys that have STEM projects. So it's a really, really exciting project that we're working on. And I can't reveal too much about it, but that's definitely something that we'll be working on in the future. What we see ourselves as is potentially a mini educational Disney, where we have different elements of the company. We have products, we have stories, we have content, we have potentially television show. We're also working on an animated show. So that's the direction that we would like to go in, where you get a 360 experience. Something that we were really successful with this summer was our camps. So we did online camps for children because of COVID. And so we had a program called Camp in a Box, and we ended up on Good Morning America and was named the best STEM camp of the summer by Good Housekeeping. And that program really showed that there was a tremendous need for online education from home, but something that a lot of kids are taking online education through their school, but it's not very interactive. It's not exciting. It's not fun. We send kids a camp in a box, and they get everything they need for the 2 weeks. And then they get a 2-week experience. And it's almost like, I can't say it's like, camp where you're together in a room. Definitely not. A physical camp is a beautiful thing. And, I went to camp my whole childhood. So, definitely don't replace it, but it can be a nice add-on. And it's something that we're building on for the future as well. We have a partnership with NYU. They're an investor in the company. And now we're building a platform for online education with NYU and the National Science Foundation. So a lot of really exciting things happening in the future. So we'll be able to really expand what we offer to our fans and customers.
See that? I mean, you're saying that you need a little bit help in communicating your work and SmartGurlz, but I think you're doing a great job. I was actually envisioning, as you were telling me, the online camp for a lot of young girls in India. Like I could see you doing like a really massive online program there, and I'll be happy to help to see how we can mobilize that and move that forward.
Oh, that would
Again,
be
because it's where East meets West. You know, there are talents on both sides of the spectrum. And sometimes we forget. We just forget that actually everything is just a press of a button away to make something magical happen. Make something magical happen. So I'm going to take you through something called rapid fire, rapid spiritual fire on my part. And I'm just going to mention one word, and you tell me what's the first word that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Okay.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Girls or boys?
Girls.
Religion or God?
God.
America or India?
America.
Sharmi.
Hmm?
Who is Sharmi in one word? Who are you?
Energy.
Perfect. And a lot of that you have gotten, my dear. Thank you so much for joining us on Where East Meets West. And could you please leave us with a website that individuals who would like to find out more about the work that you're doing can contact you?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So it's smartgurlz.com. So it's SMART, and then girls is spelled in a funny way. It's GU as an umbrella, R as in Robert, L as in love, Z as in zebra.com.
Thank you so much. What you're doing is just absolutely brilliant. I'm just
Thank
so
you.
inspired by it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed my conversation with Sharmi Albrechtsen, who is really awakening the potential and the power in our young girls, which are our future. You empower a woman, you're going to empower the entire world. Never forget that. And I'm not saying that men are any less. No, the conversation that I'm having right now is that we're in a particular area and period in our lives that the recognition and the acceptance that a soul in a female body has just as much capacity to benefit the world, to make the world a better place, to code, to fly a plane, to go to war, whatever it might be. If it's in her spirit, let her express it. Don't hold back potential. To hold back potential is to hold back your own potential too. And so we're at this particular period in time that we want to see girls be smart. They're smart anyway, but to be able to give them the opportunity to do the things that they're called to do and to not inhibit that. So thank you for joining us here again. And if you've got any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave us a message on ePlog, send us a direct, what do you call it, DM, direct message, or comment or text us, and we'd be happy to get back in touch with you. Remember, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission, and we should be here to practice loving each other the same so the world can become a much, much better place. Thank you very much for joining us. See you again really soon.